Jake and Fulton coming to you on a Victory Wednesday. They don't happen very often here in the summer months. So when they do happen,
it was a fun game to where the Royals
celebrate.
took a lead and the Royals tried to give the game to the Padres, and the Padres refused to accept the very nice gift. The Padres refused to accept a victory because the Royals did everything they could to hand it to them. And San Diego said, no. Be my guest. You deserve a win. You can have this one. That was some of the stupidest baseball I've ever seen. And I've watched a lot of stupid baseball.
The Royals, if Brady
Collective
Singer,
eight brain cells the last 5 innings.
If Brady Singer wanted to fight his defense, they could have been
I'd help
justified.
him. I would drive I would get to San Diego and I'd be like, all right, Brady, let's crack some heads.
Well, have you ever been in a fight?
I'm not answering that question. Not answering the question.
It should. He should, because that defense was terrible.
Brady Singer should have had 6 shutout innings, and instead walks away with 2 earned runs.
It couldn't even have been that, to be honest with you. Oh, my goodness. The Royals now get the win. We'll talk a little Royals baseball today. Talk a little just baseball in general. RJ Anderson from CBS Sports will join us at the bottom of the hour. We'll talk to Kellis Robinett on a little K-State athletics. We'll get to some Chiefs news and notes. All of that coming up on this edition of Mic'd Up. As always, let us know your thoughts. Hit us up on our Fleming Place Wine and Spirits phone line. And give us a shout on our text line, 785-272-9429. Would love to get your take on all things Royals Chiefs. And we got a lot of topics to get to, including NHL comes to Kansas City. Could we be an hour away from Lord Stanley playoffs? We'll get to that as well. Royals are in action. I want to say shortened show.
It technically is shorter.
Starting at 2:30. So we will lead you into Royals baseball this mid-afternoon. I consider 3 o'clock mid-afternoon.
I think that's the correct way to view it.
It's not, early afternoon, not late.
Yeah.
But we will get you some Royals baseball coming up today. But the Royals did get the win. Brady Singer looked good. That was a positive.
Yeah.
If the defense was better, he would have looked even better. So that was terrific. Offense came through with clutch hits. No surprise, Salvador Perez is one of them.
Yeah.
That was great to see. Big Sal is just on a month-long heater.
He's so good.
And I know a lot of people don't think he's got a chance at the Hall of Fame. It's going to come down to his bat, because he's got the defense. I mean, he's got the Gold Gloves. He's got the Silver Sluggers. It's going to simply come down to how many home runs does he hit.
And as of right now, he is top 10 all time in catcher home runs.
He needs to be like top 5.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of other other metrics that don't.
Yes.
If his bat ages gracefully.
Yeah.
I think he's getting in. It comes down to that.
He's got to have 3 after this year, like 3 more good years. Yeah. And if he does, we've crunched numbers. He can get to 5. If you're 5th all time in home runs and you've got that many Gold Gloves and you've played that many years and you've accumulated that many stats, I think he's got a very good chance at it. But he's been on a heater, and that's been good. So the Royals won yesterday. That's fun. Today, the Royals are going to piece together because they got an off day tomorrow. We might see Jackson Kowar today. In fact, we probably will. The whole hope right now is for the Royals to gain as many innings as they possibly can from the starter. Carlos Hernandez.
Yeah, the hope will be
get 3 innings.
Yeah, the hope is, can Carlos give you 3?
Yeah,
if he can give you 3,
Kowar give you 2.
Yeah.
No, the hope is he gives you 2.
Yeah. don't know how great that hope is.
But that's the hope.
No,
and then you hand it off to your bullpen.
Say I'm intrigued if their plan has changed for after Carlos Hernandez, with Amir Garrett going on the family medical emergency list. Because Amir Garrett was placed on that this morning. That's the one roster move the Royals made this morning. In addition, Ryan Yarbrough went to the 60-day injured list to clear up a 40-man spot because Mike Myers got selected from Omaha. Well, Mike Myers is a starter. So I wonder if the plans changed, and now it'd be Hernandez for 3, and maybe they go for Myers to give you the bulk in the middle.
Yeah, maybe.
Because Myers has worked longer innings, is fresh in his rotation count from where Coar would be. I think you're flipping a coin on your risk factor between Coar and Myers. And I mean, in theory, Coar's a younger player, so there's that whole development thing.
Mike Myers is scarier.
Yeah. You had 2 options for your joke there. I'm cool. I'm cool you took one of them.
There we go.
You had 2 options there. You went with that one. That's still a good one.
Yeah. So we got Royals baseball coming up. That's probably what's going to happen today. But I want to talk about just sheer numbers. And we're talking about pitching. Because Fulton, we went through who's going to be available in 24 and 25, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to talk about how good they got to be. And I've got 3 different teams that we can compare it to. All right. First, I'm going to compare it to a Royals team. All right. 2015, I'm not going to compare it to that team because that team was a buzzsaw. That team was excellent. They had the best record in the American League. Okay. So I'm not going to compare it to that team, but I am going to compare it to the 2014 Royals. Okay. Because how many starters do you normally need? Probably 7 to 8. 8, right?
You need 7 to 8.
Yeah. And 7 works as long as your top 2 don't get hurt.
Yeah.
Okay. If your top 2 get hurt, you're probably looking at 8 or 9. So how far away are the Royals? Okay. In 2014, the Royals won 89 games, hosted the All-Star or hosted the playing game. Here is what they had for starters, the amount of starts they made, and then their ERA. In 2014, James Shields, he had 34 starts. That dude was a hoss.
Yeah, he was.
3.21 ERA. Jeremy Guthrie, 32 starts. 4.1 ERA. Jason Vargas, 30 starts, 3.7. Yordano Ventura, 30 starts, 3.2. Danny Duffy, 25, 2.5 starts. Then you had Bruce Chen with 7, Hendricks with 3, and then Aaron Brooks had 1.
Oh, Aaron Brooks.
But look at that.
Mm-hmm.
The Royals 2014, they won 89 games.
That's a good rotation. They had a really good rotation that year.
One guy had an ERA in the 4s, and it was a 4.1.
Yeah.
And he started 32 starts. When I say the name Jeremy Guthrie, most people think he wasn't very good.
Those people would be wrong.
If you start 32 games and you're the worst pitcher on your rotation and you start 32 games and your ERA is 4.1, that's a tremendous rotation. They had one guy in the 4s and a guy in the 2s with Danny Duffy. Okay. What about last year? What did the Royals have last year?
Really bad. Not good.
They had
terrible.
They had 2 guys in the 3s, not a single pitcher in the 4s, and 4 guys in the 5s. Do you want to talk about that's how far away the Royals are from a team that we remember fondly. To win 89 games, the starting rotation had 5 guys toss 25 or more starts, and the worst pitcher would have been the 3rd best pitcher last year. Greinke had an ERA in the 3s. Singer had an ERA in the 3s. Everybody else sucked. Mm-hmm. So the worst pitcher, the number 5 pitcher for the Royals, and they only won 89 games, would have been the 3rd best pitcher last year. Okay? Mm-hmm. They weren't ready to win last year. We know that.
Not even close.
But that shows you how far the gap is. So I want to make it a little bit different. Okay, we're going to go with more current baseball because 2014 compared to 2023, kind of a big difference, right? Mm-hmm. So last year, the Seattle Mariners, right? They finally made it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
They won 90 games.
Mhm.
Okay. They did not win their division. That was Houston. They were a wild card, but they won 90 games.
Mhm.
Here was their rotation. They had Robbie Ray, 32 starts, ERA of 3.71. Logan Gilbert, 32 starts, ERA of 3.2. Marco Gonzalez, 32 starts, ERA of 4.1. Chris Flexen, 22 starts, ERA of 3.7. George Kirby, 25 starts, 3.39. Luis Castillo, 11 starts, 3.17. So they had 6 guys start 11 games or more, but more specifically, they had 5 guys start 22 games or more. And their worst ERA
was 4.13.
Kind of sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Mhm.
That's exactly what the Royals basically had.
Mhm.
They had 5 guys, worst ERA is 4.1, and everybody else was in the 3s. Okay, that's 90 wins. The Royals are not at 90 wins. They're not going to win 90 wins next year. That's unrealistic,
No,
okay? So let's go with the Orioles. They won 83 games last year. Good old Baltimore Orioles. Here's what they had. They won 83. Jordan Lyles.
Legend.
32 starts, ERA of 4.4.
Why couldn't he do that for us?
Dean Kremer. Or is it Kramer? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Made up name. 21 starts, 3.2 ERA. Kyle Bradish. 23 starts, 4.9. Not great.
No.
Spencer Watkins. 20 starts, 4.7. Tyler Wells, 23 starts, 4.2. Austin Voth, 17 starts, ERA of 3.04.
That one is still insane.
So you had 6 guys start 17 games or more. So that goes back to how many starters do you need? You need 6 to 7, no questions asked.
You'd
going
like
into
a
a year.
if you feel better.
You know, now, do you need that? No, you don't. If your guys stay healthy, look what the Royals had. They only had 8 guys make starts. Chen, Hendricks, and Brooks combined for 11 of them. That was it. So if your guys stay healthy,
you're fine.
You only need about 6.
You just need to be prepared.
But right now, can you tell me that the Royals pitching staff next year will have 2 guys in the 3s and then 4 guys in the 4s? I can't tell you that right now because there's too many unknowns.
Yeah.
And right now in baseball, the Royals proved it this year, right? The Royals have proved it this year. Not every year, everybody's going to take a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
So we think, hey, so-and-so will take a step forward. So-and-so will take a step forward, right?
Yeah.
Not going to be the case. That is not going to be. You're going to have a guy who we thought was going to be pretty decent take a step back. It happens all over the time, over the place.
Mhm.
So when I look at this, the Royals right now in 2023, the year of our Lord 2023, here is what they've got. 7.1 ERA in Jordan Lyles, 5 ERA. Greinke, Singers is 7, Kellers is 4, Bubic is 3. That's what we've had. Small sample size, I understand that. That's grim. It's grim to me.
Here's what I'll say.
And hold on.
Okay.
Okay. But let's go with the Lyles might not be here next year. Greinke's
Lyles is going to be here. You get him for half a year.
So Lyles will going to be here. Greinke probably isn't. Singer will. Keller probably is not going to make starts next year.
Keller might not be on this team next year.
Yeah, exactly. So he's not going to make starts next year. So you got a lot of new guys, right?
Yeah.
A lot of new faces.
Mhm.
We have seen how a lot of new faces, sometimes it doesn't work right away.
Correct. So
for those of you who, and I'm included in those people like me who are like, I'm done with this year. I'm ready to look for next year. It didn't look good next year, man. If you got to have that many guys the Royals right now, this current staff doesn't have a single guy in the 3s and their best ERA is a guy who leads the majors in walks.
Here's what I'll say to all of this. Current prognosis is unfortunate.
You paused there because you didn't know what word to use.
I was trying to find the right word.
No, you were trying to find the nicest word.
Yes, the nicest way to put it. But here's the thing. This is what I talked about yesterday, though. Can the Royals, out of all these young guys that I think you could give at least a couple starts to, and some will get a lot more than a couple, but all these dudes that you could throw up this year and just see what they do, can you get 3 guys who can put their ERAs in the 4s? And there's a decent chunk of dudes to pull from. Now, you're correct. There's no guarantee you can. There's not.
Well, it's not just you need 3 dudes in the 4s. You need 2 guys in the 3s.
Well, but that's my larger point. If you can get 3 dudes in the 4s out of this collection of, like, let's call it, because I can't bank on Chris Buich with Tommy John. It's such a weird thing. I'm kind of putting Chris to the side for a minute. Singer, Lynch, and insert guy here from like the 8 dudes between AA and AAA. 1 out of 8, I will put a little bit of stock in. Maybe 1 out of the 8 can work. I don't know, but I also it's that unknown of I can't put it on the scale either way. Because with the new pitching development group that is looking better at some of these younger guys, I can't put a finger on the scale either way. But you can get 3 dudes in the 4s out of that. So you need 2 dudes in the 3s, right? John Sherman, time to prove to me you're a real owner.
Okay, all right.
That's my point. You're right. You need 2 dudes in the 3. John Sherman, go get him. I don't think you're finding 2 dudes in the 3 of this current group unless, in my opinion, Singer and Lynch surprise me. But you know what you can do to get 2 dudes in the 3s? You can do what those teams in 14 and 15 did.
So
go get them.
That is what I look at that and it's grim because
it's not great, but also there's not a guarantee they can't. It's unknown. It is a ball of unknown.
But I am going to go with history. And right now, history says that's not going to happen.
And all I will say to that, and I'm not saying you are wrong with that point, because that is fair. What I will say to that is I still think it's improper to base a large chunk of belief on what developmental pieces of the Royals can turn into off of past experiences, because it's all new.
But they where do they reside? They reside in Missouri, right? Show me. I'm not going to believe. I'm not going to believe. I'm not going to believe.
And I'm not telling you to think that like me. Yeah. I'm not thinking that, all these guys will come up and all be great. No, I need them to show me that, but I'm not going to assume they'll be garbage because of past issues, because majority of those dudes all gone.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm with you. They need to show me, but I'm not just going to. I'm going to try not to have a fully negative opinion about what they could be before I'm shown. I'm trying to be more just in the middle.
No, you're just more optimistic. I'm going with.
Because if I'm not, Jake, then that's a very bad place.
Well, I'm going with reality. Reality says that it ain't going to happen. So that
reality says you don't know what's going to happen.
Well, yeah, it does, because I've got past history. The Royals have never developed starting pitching. Ever.
Past history of an organizational. Yeah. The organization is different.
But I'm still going to go with that's not going to happen. So, but the other thing that, if you notice about this, right? The difference between an 83-win rotation and a 90-win rotation, very, very
it's stark.
We're talking, I just want 83 wins. Yeah. That means just 500 ball, and you got to have 2 dudes in the 3s and the rest in the 4s.
I will also add this, and I know we're going to get to a break, and we'll break this down more as the weeks go on. This Royals offense is better than anything they did in those winning years. Well, I will add that too.
We'll have to wait and see if that actually holds up over time. But the difference between 83 and 90 is then you got everybody in the 3s, 1 in the 4s instead of the reverse. That is what is stark looking at these pitching numbers. This is grim. It's not great. Coming up next, talk a little playoffs in the NBA, and we'll talk RJ Anderson on all things MLB. Last night, you watched the Nugs take on the Lakers.
It was on my second screen.
I think Nikola Jokic basically played some of the best basketball I've ever seen for the first three quarters. And like most playoff games, if a team is down by like 20, the game is not even going to be close, or it will come down to the last minute. Like there's no in between. Like they never win by like 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like it's like a 12-point game, you know. And the Lakers came back, made it a game. And I see people going, "Oh man, the Lakers, they're in a great spot. They figured out the Nuggets.
No,
they figured it out."
No, they didn't.
I don't remember who it was, but they said, "If I'm the Lakers, I feel better about this." I'm like,
"No, I don't."
No, you lost. I want the Nuggets to win so bad. The Nuggets remind me of the Royals in 2014.
Yeah.
Like, go Nuggets.
Yeah. I would like them to break through.
Team Nuggets. Coming up, we'll talk with RJ Anderson of CBS Sports. Now we're going to talk with Kellis Robinett of the Kansas City Star and the Wichita Eagle on all things K-State. K-State have to change some things up since the airport's not going to be there in Manhattan over the summertime. That doesn't help recruiting at all. We'll get into that and a little bit more of Chris Kleiman's contract that was announced a couple days ago. We'll get to all that coming up in the 1 o'clock hour. Also, what's it going to cost you to go to Germany to watch the Chiefs? Buddy.
That number is not small.
It isn't.
Not going to be a small number.
It isn't. Don't go through the NFL. I can tell you that right
It's going to be a pretty big number.
We got Royals baseball coming up. 2:30 pregame coverage at 3:10 first pitch. How you feeling about going up against Yu Darvish?
It's going to be all right. I hope they win, but I penciled this series as a 1-win series, so I got it. So, I mean, I'm kind of...
There we go.
But getting some more after the Brewers sweep would be nice, too.
And we'll ask that. Yeah. Going to the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits phone lines, we bring in RJ Anderson, friend of the show. We've had RJ on a few times, talk a little Major League Baseball on a national level. RJ, my very first question for you, hope things are going well. How do you feel about the Royals' chances today against Yu Darvish?
Yeah, that's not a great topic to start off with, I don't think, if you're a Royals fan. But, it's baseball and strange things happen every day. So they'll probably go out there and put up a 10 spot in the first inning and make us all look a little silly.
What are the odds of that? I can't even probably get that on my FanDuel app. A 10 spot off you, Darvish. We're okay with starting off with bad topics because we have a bad baseball team in the Kansas City Royals. Right now, the worst team in Major League Baseball, who is it?
Oh, it's the Athletics. The Royals are bad, don't get me wrong, but the Athletics are on a whole nother level. They essentially building a joke of a roster. They're trying to get corporate welfare from the city of Las Vegas for their new ballpark. And, it's just an absolute joke of a franchise right now. At least the Royals, they're bad, but, at least it's in a more traditional and respectable way.
They're more traditionally bad. Like, how bad are they from a national perspective? This is why I enjoy, bringing guys like yourself on who see baseball from all 30 teams and we don't see it, through local colored glasses. Just how bad are the Royals? Like, hit me. I don't need you to beat around the bush. You don't sugarcoat it. Go right through the eyes here.
Yeah, I think they're probably, if they're not the second worst team in the American League, they're probably the third worst team. So I would say, they're one of the worst handful of teams in the majors. And to some extent, when you looked at that pitching staff last year and you looked at the paucity of good additions over the winter, that was to be expected. But I think the lineup has disappointed. Now, they do have a few good players who I think, are promising and who could be Royals for the long term, even as they hopefully move back toward respectability. But yeah, it's just not a good team. And it's clear that they're still very much in the rebuilding phase.
With the new leadership and everything, do you consider this the start of another brand new rebuild, or is this rebuild piggybacking and continuing on the current rebuild that previous leadership was starting?
Yeah, that's a good question because, it's complicated. Usually when teams fire over general managers during a rebuild, they go outside the organization. And because the Royals didn't do that, I think it's a little bit more difficult to make heads or tails of, okay, is there new infrastructure being put into place? Are they, bringing in new ideas? And to be fair, it seems like they did. They hired a manager from the Rays organization and they've done some other stuff, but it is a little messier than your traditional rebuild. I guess I would say, to take the coward's way out, it's like a rebuild 1.5, right? It's not quite an entirely new rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not quite the old rebuild. That's probably somewhere in the middle.
When it comes to a rebuild like the Royals, from a larger point of view, do you think they could get to 75 wins next year, or realistically the best possible outcome is to be competitive in 25?
Well, I guess the good thing is, the pitching staff is so horrible that if they go out there and just find a few league average contributors, yeah, it's possible you can shoot up to around 75 wins and a quick timeline because, the division's bad. I don't think some of these other teams are going to improve their rosters a whole lot over the next year. And there are the makings, of a solid lineup here. It's just a matter of, can they help those players acclimate to the majors, and can they, add on to this roster externally? And that's where it gets tricky because I don't know if this team is going to spend much money in free agency, and it's going to be hard to make trades for proven big league pitchers or even big league pitchers who look like they're going to be average or better contributors right away because of where they are on the winning curve and, what their priorities are. So I suppose it's possible. A lot of things can happen in this game within a year's time. But from sitting here and, penciling in my projections for next year, right now, I would probably take the under on that number.
We're talking with RJ Anderson. He's a baseball writer for CBS Sports. You can follow him on Twitter at @R_J_Anderson. To build a team, the last time that the Royals were competitive, they had to do some big time trades. One, you had to trade a Cy Young guy all the way back, in the early 2010s. Then you had to trade your best minor league prospect for an older pitcher. And then you had to trade some of your best prospects mid-season to get another starter, and then trade more prospects to get a second baseman who could, hit it really well in Ben Zobrist, Johnny Cueto, the Greinke trade, the Will Myers trade. At what point in time will JJ Picollo have to actually risk it all? Like, in order to make all of that happen in 14 and 15 for the Royals, they had to make 5 trades, and they all had to work out. At some
Right.
point in time, you're going to have to make the big, bold decision. Is that this offseason, next offseason, or when do you think it'll end up having to happen?
Yeah, that's a good question because I think the landscape of the league has changed a lot. And I think there's almost this pressure against doing stuff like that anymore. And the general managers who still show that boldness really stand out. I mean, AJ Preller of the San Diego Padres, he's making a bold trade every 6 months, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's not quicker than that. And he really stands out because of it, because of, the culture right now in the game is being very conservative, holding on to your prospects, not making trades that could potentially get you fired, and just trying to, ride the wave and hope that eventually you draft enough good players and supplement through, lesser free agent signings and whatever to keep your job for as long as possible. So ideally, he would start making some waves, the next year, just because you want to see general managers and teams try to win and try to field the best possible product. Realistically, it wouldn't surprise me if, we're having the same conversation in 12 months, just because that's the culture of the land right now, for better and worse.
Let's go just Major League Baseball in general. The new rules, how have they been implemented and how have they gone? And so far through, 40 some games, has it worked out? Which rules do you like the best? Is there anything that frustrates you? Your assessment on the new rules?
No, I mostly like them. I like them more than I expected. I think they've achieved the desired effect if you look at the statistics and whatnot. The games are certainly moving at a better pace, and I know there are negatives to that too, but I think they've kind of accomplished what they wanted to accomplish, and you can argue about whether that should have been the goal or not. I'm certainly ears to that, but if you're just judging it off, here's what they wanted to get done, they got it done.
The pitch clock. Are you surprised that it's been this impactful in changing the game 30 minutes?
No, because that was what the minor league numbers showed. When they installed the clock at the minor league level, they said it shaved about a half hour off game. So, that's sort of the baseline. Now, obviously MLB television breaks a little longer than the inning breaks in the minor leagues and whatever. So there was going to be a little bit of a difference, but this is basically what was advertised based on the empirical data from the minors.
When it comes to the stolen bases, do you think it's still too early to determine if base stealing is up, or it no question is because of the rule change to the larger bases?
Yeah, I actually saw an article in Sports Illustrated last week that this is the largest year-to-year increase in stolen bases in league history. So I think it's definitely safe to say that the stolen base is back, and that the changes, not only with larger bases, but with the disengagement rules, have fostered this environment where people want to run again. And I think that's great. I really enjoy the stolen base, and I'm from an analytical background, so I always understood that it's not necessarily the smartest play numbers wise, but you can't just play the most efficient game. I think that can lead to a really boring product, and I think it's great that we're showcasing the players' athleticism again, because these are great athletes, explosive athletes, probably the best athletes we've ever had in baseball history, and it's great to actually get to see that on display more often.
When it comes to the no shifting, or I guess because you can still move a guy right above second base, you can still have a small shift, but not the seismic shift. Have the numbers shown? Has that been a help to at least the left-handed batters?
Yeah, I haven't looked into that data here recently with the ground ball batting average on balls in play, the right side or whatever. But I will say that I expected to dislike that the most, just because I don't like the idea of limiting managerial strategy or team strategy within a game. That said, when I've been watching games, I really haven't missed the overshift. As you said, teams can still position their fielders a little up the middle. Obviously, you have to stay on the side of the bag or what have you. But I haven't missed that part of it, and it surprised me. I think of all the ones, that was the one I was probably most likely to dislike. And yet here we are almost 2 months into the season, and there hasn't been one occasion where I said, wow, I really wish there was a fielder standing out there in shallow right field on that ground ball. It would have made my enjoyment of this game so much better. So, like I said earlier, I kind of tip my cap. It seems like they've accomplished what they've wanted to based on what data I have seen and based on my own viewing experiences.
The players that you've talked to, are they on board with all the new rules, or are they still not happy with them?
I think you see, with the case of any change, you're going to see people push back on it, right? And I think people are going to grumble, especially about the pitch clock. I mean, gosh, just a few days ago, we had a huge controversy on Twitter because Tim Anderson apparently told Jose Abreu he hated the pitch clock. And people thought he said, I hate this place or whatever. And, you're going to have players, the contingency of players hate just about anything if it affects them. And it is what it is. It's not like there's anything they can really do. Part of the CBA, they agreed to it as part of their union. And I'm going to guess that we're not going to have the pitch clock. I think that's here to stay. So you just have to make the necessary adjustments. And, baseball is a game of adjustments. So what they're really being asked to do here is speed up just a little bit. And once we get a little further into the season, I don't think it's going to be a problem. Guys are going to get acclimated and everything's going to be fine. These guys are professionals for a reason. It's not like they're not going to be overmatched by a clock, I guess is what I'm saying.
All righty. My final two for the road. Are there any surprises this year, teams-wise, that you look at this and go, I had no idea that the Pirates, or honestly, I just assume that the Tigers always suck. That's just how I operate here, being in the AL Central. But I did not think that the Tigers would be even 2 games under 500 at 19-21. So is there a surprise for you when it comes to this year so far?
Yeah, I'll go with the Rangers. I thought they could compete for a playoff spot, but the quality of that team so far has really shocked me. They have the second best run differential in the entire American League on top of that division. And yeah, I kind of figured that if the rotation stayed healthy, they had a chance at a wild card spot, but they have really exceeded my expectations so far.
And lastly, if you are in charge of baseball, you get to expand. You get to expand baseball, and this is assuming that the Oakland Athletics are moving to Vegas. Looks like the Tropicana is going to be no more, as they might be moving to where the Tropicana is. Which, by the way, if you've ever been to Vegas and seen the Tropicana, that's not necessarily a bad thing. We can probably go ahead and eliminate the Tropicana when it comes to all that. I don't know if you're a big Vegas guy, RJ, but no one should be disappointed if the Tropicana goes away. So, assuming that they go to Vegas, that means Oakland, you could have a team in Oakland if you choose to expand there. But what 2 teams, what 2 cities are you heading to?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, there are a lot of good candidates. I know Portland and Nashville and even Montreal have really tried in the past. So I'll say, give it to 2 of them. I don't have 2 off the top of my head. I will say that if Oakland does do the move to Vegas and that Tropicana spot, I really hope they call it Tropicana Field just to confuse everyone. Because, the Rays Dome is also called that. So let's get to Tropicana Field in Major League Baseball. I think that's what we really need to push the game forward.
That'd be so confusing.
That would be amazing. I'm fully on board with that.
Hey, you got to get your Tropicana Field this weekend. Which one? Which coast? Which side you going to?
Well, it's kind of like, you got the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas.
In the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City.
We
call one Tropicana Field, the other is Tropicana Park.
There we go.
Now I'm on board with the plan, RJ. It's a fantastic idea.
There we go. RJ, thank you so much for the time, my friend. We appreciate it. Have yourself a great rest of the week.
Thanks for having me, guys.
RJ Anderson, CBS Sports, covering Major League Baseball. Fulton, 2 things. 1, I'm fully on board with that.
Yeah, you want Tropicana Park? Yeah, I'm here.
Tropicana Field.
I'm here. No. Tropicana Park is the one in Vegas. We'll have Tropicana Field because that already exists. Okay. We have to differentiate it that way.
Now, Tropicana, it's because of the orange juice company, right? That's what it is?
Sure, I assume so.
I'm assuming that's the case.
I care so little about the Rays, I don't know.
Did you notice that he was agreeing with me when it comes to getting rid of the Tropicana?
Yeah. I've never been to the Tropicana when I went to Vegas the one time.
You don't.
Okay, bad place?
Don't. I'm going to tell you this.
Okay.
If you're going to Vegas, there are 3 hotels that if you go there and you stay there, you're an idiot.
Okay.
One of them was Tropicana.
Okay.
Never stay at the Tropicana.
Have you stayed at the Tropicana, or is this just from my other experiences?
Just people I talk to. I got friends who live in Vegas.
Okay.
Just the whole thing.
So the Tropicana.
Do not stay at the Tropicana. If you stay there, you're dumb.
Okay.
Number 2, if you stay at the Circus,
okay,
you're nuts.
Okay.
1, that is creepy.
Okay.
I'm not a huge clown guy, all right?
Yeah, system is trying to convince us to go to the carnival.
We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Carnivals and circuses,
Fair.
completely different.
Okay, fair.
Okay.
So circus in the Tropicana.
Do not stay at either one of those.
Okay. And what was third?
I don't care how cheap it is to stay at one of those two places.
Okay.
And the third
Yeah.
might be the most important. Do not stay at the Rio.
Okay.
Do not, under
Okay.
any circumstances, stay at any one of those three.
Okay.
All right. This has been travel tips
It's
from
been
Jake
Vegas
Fulton.
tips from Jake LeBon.
Speaking of which, alrighty, from the text line,
Oh, no.
and I looked it up. The carnival is here in Topeka.
Yes.
It's here for about a week. Okay.
Oh, okay.
The four of us, 580 Sports Team, Dan and Brennan are not here right now.
They don't know about this. They probably aren't listening.
Should have showed up to work today.
They don't have a show today.
That's the price you pay by not showing up. So here's what's going to happen.
Okay.
I love carnival, games.
Okay.
Even
though they're rigged for you to lose.
throw the bottle through it, shoot the basketball.
Yeah.
all that kind. So here's what we're going to do.
Okay.
All four of us, we're going to have a competition.
Okay.
We all get $20.
Okay.
We're each going to take $20.
Okay.
All right. And we're going to go to the carnival.
Okay.
And whoever ends up with the best prize or the most prize or the biggest prize is going to be the winner. We're going to have a competition.
Okay.
You can pick whatever carnival.
Could I spend all 20 of my dollars at one carnival game?
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
care. If you want to shoot the water gun, the horses move all the way, to see if you can do that. It's just you get what is it? The hammer, the frog, and the frog leaps off the catapult onto a lily pad. You can do that one. You can do the baseball one. You can, do that impossible climb the rope and touch the bell one. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
All of those are games.
I say it's impossible to climb that little rope bridge. It's doable. It takes a lot of skill and coordination I don't have.
I was gonna say, do you know the secret to it though?
Be coordinated?
No, like it's all about you have to stay in the center because if you go left, it's scientifically proven.
Yeah, you got to keep the weight distributed over the center.
Yeah. Even if a gram goes one way or another,
it
you're in
shifts
trouble.
the balance.
Yeah,
it's about balance.
Yeah. So
a thing I don't have.
We're gonna do that.
I'm so excited for us to tell Brendan and Dan that we're doing this and to see what they do.
I don't care what they do.
If they get mad, I will let them blame me because this all came about because I had to drop Jake off to get his car. We saw the carnival.
Yeah.
And Jake goes, oh, it's carnival. I just made a joke of just like, oh, we should all go there and see who could be the best at carnival games. Joking. Entirely kidding. And Jake just goes, oh, we're doing it. And I'm like, I was kidding. I was saying a joke. I thought I was being funny.
Who doesn't like carnival games? They're fun.
No, you're not wrong.
They're
carnival games are
great.
fun.
And if they like it or if they don't like it, guess what? Tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
We don't get a lot of say in that.
We won't do it on the day that the Nuggets play.
Yeah.
The Rockies stink, so it's not like Dan missing a Rockies game is a huge deal.
Poor Dan.
Same for you. The Royals stink. It's not like we're missing anything with the Royals game. All right. We're going to go at some point in time over it's there from the 18th, I think, to like the 26th or something like that.
Okay.
Besides, how long is it going to take for us to go through $20?
Oh, no, not that long at all.
5 minutes?
Maybe.
Exactly. It's going to
It'll be a
great.
very short trip to the carnival.
It'll be great. Plus, competition, trash talk, wagering. It's great. Coming up, how much is it going to cost to go to Germany if you go the NFL route? We'll get to that coming up. Thank you so much for joining us. Jake and Fulton Caster with you. Leading you into Royals baseball pregame coverage in an hour and a half from right now. They try to go for their third series win. Forgot about that one against the White Sox.
You did. The more recent one.
Correct. That's how bad they've been.
The more enjoyable one.
That's how bad they've been. I remember the Giants because it was the first.
Yeah.
You always remember the first.
Yeah.
So they go up against Yu Darvish, Carlos Hernandez on the bump today, and the Royals are heavily the underdog.
Yeah, it's fair. On bullpen days, the team throwing out the entire bullpen is usually the dog by a hefty margin.
The Padres are minus 275.
Yeah, that tracks. Yu Darvish has been pitching incredibly well. Royals are sending out Carlos Hernandez for 3 innings, and then who knows what'll happen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. How many strikeouts will Yu Darvish have?
What is good old you doing this season? I think his K numbers are back up.
I'm not going to tell you what the over-under is. I just want you to give me a number.
I need to think for a minute. Hold on. He's doing that. That's his K per 9. Probably about 7 today.
So you're taking the over.
What's his over-under at?
6.5.
I just want to point out that I was basically dead on to what Vegas was thinking, looking at numbers.
You got the 7 right. Are you going to pull the trigger? No. Okay. So we got Royals baseball coming up today. Everyone loves the list. We are going with favorite nicknames. Now, when I say not nicknames, isn't like, Ichabods, Wildcats. Those are mascots. We are going sports nicknames. Okay. So I don't want to say one that would be okay. It's not in there, but I love the nickname.
Mm-hmm.
The Big Hurt.
Yeah.
Who was?
Frank Thomas.
There you go. Frank Thomas. Okay. Those.
Yeah.
Right.
Athlete nicknames that we really like.
Yeah. The Say Hey Kid.
Yeah. Willie Mays.
There you go. That's not going to, those two are not going to be on my list, but that's what I need you to come up with.
Yeah. I like it. It's going to be fun today.
There we go.
I'm intrigued where we each go. There's a lot of options here.
Correct.
And a lot of ways you can take it on why you like it. It can just be funny. It can be recognizable.
Correct. I was interested in the Germany trip and the NFL.
Because obviously Jake's trying to plan one.
Yeah, I'd love to go to this game. It would be awesome. So I got an email, right? I get an email every year about Chiefs season tickets. I've never been a Chiefs season ticket holder. It's more so I just want to know what it costs to go to be a Chiefs season ticket holder. How much is it going to cost, right? You know, if you want 2 tickets, 4 tickets, or if you're one of them that flies solo to games, just 1 season ticket. And so every now and then I will get emails about the NFL, especially if it involves the Chiefs. And I did. I got one. It was from the NFL on location. At NFL@email.nfl.com. So the NFL sent it to me. It said, book an epic NFL road trip to Germany. Chiefs fans, it's time to go global. The Chiefs fly to Frankfurt on November the 5th to battle the Dolphins. On location, the official hospitality partner of the NFL has the Chiefs Kingdom covered from the moment you touch down. Enjoy all access, featuring premium seating, deluxe accommodations. Don't miss your chance on an unforgettable experience abroad. And The Rock thinks he can cut a promo. How about that promo right there? You're welcome. I should get to go to Germany for free now. So you click on it, and it's got a bunch of packages. And this is what's hilarious, is that some of the packages have already been sold out. And I got this email. Hold on a second. I got this email 1 day ago. And they are sold out.
People move quickly.
Actually, I can't believe this. The entire thing is sold out.
People move quickly.
There were 3 packages, and they're all gone already.
Well, now they're gone. There's no longer 3.
Holy Moses. Well, I can tell you this just because the info is gone. Like I can't even give you like the specifics on it, but I do remember them. Okay. There were 3 packages. One that was game tickets, hospitality, but no hotel stay, no airfare. Then it had hotel stay, game tickets, hospitality, no airfare. And then it had the whole kit and caboodle. 4-night stay, airfare, tickets, all of that. For the hotel stay, it was 4 nights, no airfare. So you get the 3 packages, right? It was just the tickets, basically, some travel accommodations to and from, all that kind of stuff. So just the tickets, basically. Then you've got hotel and tickets, and then you have airfare, hotel, and tickets. This was per ticket, per everything. You can't see this now because it's sold out. But what do you think the pricings were?
Oh, cheapest $800.
Okay.
Most expensive, we're talking a couple G's.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Yes. Well, I can tell you that the packages went like this. Per ticket, if you just wanted official game tickets, the hospitality, when it comes to all that, $2,000.
Joe,
$2,000.
mama.
$2,000. If you wanted ticket, 4 nights hotel stay, the exclusive hospitality travel accommodations, that's not airfare. That's just there in Germany. Okay. What was that?
$5,000.
$4,000 a person. $4,000 a pop. Yeah. If you wanted airfare plus the 4 nights plus the game ticket,
I don't want to hear this number.
it was $6,500 a person. And they sold them puppies out.
There are some rich people in this country.
It says here, game tickets, hospitality, get notified when packages are available. It sold out in a day.
There are some rich people in this country, and there are some people with large credit card limits in this country.
I can't believe it. Like, I was planning on giving you all the specific details and everything. I'm glad I read it all yesterday. I can't believe it. It's sold out already.
Yeah.
Because I was going to tell you this. No, don't go through the NFL. What you need to do is you fly yourself, stay at a Airbnb or a Verbo or a hotel, and then scalp a ticket from the game. But this will be interesting because I believe this is the very first football game the NFL is going to be played in Frankfurt.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were in Munich last year, right, with the Bucks, correct?
Sure.
I believe that was the
I
situation.
couldn't tell off the top of my head. I couldn't. I do not know. I think it was Munich.
I'm pretty positive it was Munich. Now I got to look that up because maybe the prices are going to be so much more expensive because it will be in Frankfurt. Because they played Seattle in Germany, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. It was Seattle.
Yeah, they played Seattle. Yeah, and they played at Allianz Arena in Munich. So maybe that's why tickets are going to be more expensive. But think about that. The NFL put packages together like, yeah, $2,000 for ticket and some amenities. I wonder what is the German version of StubHub over there? Or tickets for less.
I think technically, like, StubHub is, I believe, a global system.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. I'd have to look.
I've never thought about that.
And I think technically, we get into a weird thing here in that this is a game played in an for us internationally, but it's still represented and based out of American systems.
Correct.
Like, so it's not as simple of like, that's why, like, maybe some American resale markets are still apply. Because also, let's say you're a German person and you bought this.
Mm-hmm.
I'd resell it on the American market. They're going to be wanting to go more than maybe some of the German people might be.
Can they even get the tickets over there in Germany?
I don't know. I don't know how any of this works. That's definitely possible.
Fulton, I just put the link on there. You see the link, right?
Yeah.
I was expecting to give all the details to every single one of them, and now it's sold out. That was a day ago.
Yeah.
The NFL, man. That's incredible. And that is jacked up pricing like you wouldn't believe.
Mm-hmm. So it's for the luxury accommodations.
Yeah, not for us common folk.
Not for us normal folks. Us normies, us plebs. It's insane. It's insane.
I wonder how many Chiefs fans bought that, or is that just like generic something?
Oh, probably kind of generic. But I don't know. I don't know how any of this
I am floored.
goes.
I am floored.
But no, there's a market for this. And more importantly, international games are partly marketed to fans of those teams. Those just marketed to people in general who want to go see a cool thing.
All right. Hey, and people ask me, and I've seen this on Twitter, and people talk about why is the NFL trying to play over there? They don't care about us over there. They don't care about football. All right.
Yeah, they do.
What are give me the top 10 sports in the world.
Soccer.
That's number
obviously.
one. That's number one.
Soccer's up there. Basketball's growing.
Basketball's
up there.
Basketball is in the top 10. I think it's number 2.
I would argue, based on its impact in the Asian market specifically, baseball's up there. Because in Asia, it's massive.
Baseball's 10.
Okay.
Baseball is 10.
Okay. Like, American football is getting up there. I don't know where I'd put it, though. And then outside of that, I mean, we're starting to just hunt sports.
Not really.
Well, hockey's up there because of its European
yes,
ties.
Hockey's up there, yes. They're in the top 10. I saw this yesterday. Hockey's in the top 10. So far, you've hit all of the top 10. You haven't missed one yet.
Now we're just, cricket.
Cricket's in there, yep. I think that's actually
I'm surprised.
Fifth, I believe.
I feel less confident. Rugby's got a chance.
Rugby's in there, yes.
Okay. It's got an international flair. We're running out of sports.
I think rugby's in there. Maybe rugby is.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's not. It's so European centric that maybe it's not. But I mean, pretty much every country in Europe is a big part of rugby. I mean, well, and then New Zealand as well. I cannot forget about the New Zealanders and the Aussies. Because the Rugby World Sevens is a decent international stake. I'm trying to think if there's any other sports that I'm not thinking of that would be mattering.
There's 3 of them that you're missing.
I'm going to take a little bit of a potential assist from the text line from the 785 if this counts, and I think it should. But essentially, auto racing, like F1, Indy, stuff like that. That's fair. I would have taken the assist text line, because that's fair, but that gets a bit of a gray area.
Yeah.
I got no others. Where I think they're big international sports.
All right. Golf.
Oh, yeah, golf.
Okay. Golf. Tennis.
Why did I not think of tennis?
Tennis.
I feel like an idiot for that one.
Tennis, golf.
Yeah.
Yes. Boxing.
Yeah.
Boxing.
Yeah. I forgot all about the individual sports.
Volleyball.
Oh, yeah, that one I missed, but I get.
Okay. Is football in the top 10?
American football?
Yes.
I don't think it's there yet, but it's got to be getting close.
It's not. And that's the reason why they're playing these games overseas.
Because it's the point is legitimate. Like, it's legitimate grow the game is what they're doing. Because,
grow the game.
And make a lot of money.
There you go.
But NFL, American football in Mexico has been growing lately.
Yeah.
It's becoming a thing. There is American football there's American football leagues in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Literally professional sports leagues in Germany of American football. There's stuff in other little pockets of Europe of American football sports leagues. The NFL wants to grow American football as more than an American sport. And that's part of why they do this. The other part truly is they know they can make money hand over fist doing this. But they want to grow their game. It's why, every sports league wants to, instead of the MLB, wants to grow its game internationally. And then some leagues are just generically based internationally. Golf doesn't have to try to grow its game internationally. It just is. Same thing, soccer, if it's doing anything, is growing in America in the inverse, But any of those 4 major North American sports leagues, they're all trying to grow themselves internationally, outside of maybe hockey. And that's just because, again, that is already so international.
That's the reason why they are doing this.
They want to become one of the 10 most popular sports in the entire world.
Yeah. But that surprised you that, volleyball and
volleyball is the only one.
Yeah.
Volleyball is the only one. The individual sports of golf and tennis, when you said, I was like, oh, yeah, individual sports exist. Volleyball a little bit, but then the more I think about it, that is a really big sport internationally.
Yep. Coming up next, our favorite nicknames in sports. What do we think just works? We'll get to that coming up next. Nicknames. These are player nicknames. What do you got, number 4?
Number 4 for me, this one's just because it's fun. Hefty Lefty, Jared Lyons, and rest in peace to the GOAT. Hefty Lefty. What a great name. What a great nickname.
Okay. Number 4 for me, grew up when he was playing up in the Northeast. I thought the nickname was awesome. The Big Unit.
Yeah.
Randy Johnson, the big unit. I mean, that dude was 6'11", just towering.
Awesome.
Love the nickname, the Big Unit.
Great. Number 3 for me, William the Refrigerator Perry. The fridge. Fantastic.
Yeah, but you didn't grow up with it.
I know. It's still there.
Okay.
I'm still calling it.
Okay, then you went with the fridge. All right. Number 2 for me, I'm gonna stay with you. It's I didn't grow up with this one, but I still think it's just bad. It's just a sweet name. Sweetness.
Yeah.
Walter Payton. Walter Payton
that's
named
good.
Sweetness. You wouldn't think. I think Sweetness is a phenomenal nickname.
Oh, I'm with you. I think it's a real good one. That's good out there. Number 2 for me is simple. Babe. There's only one Babe in sports, and it's Babe Ruth.
Here's the reason why.
And that is a nickname, and that counts.
I stayed away from those.
Yeah.
Because to me, like Magic Johnson, like that's not his name, but everybody calls him that.
And
so
to me, I think that hallmarks a great nickname if it can. And it's personal.
I look at it differently. I look at it as that's their name. Like,
that's fair.
Like
okay.
Babe Ruth.
I get it.
His name is.
Do you know his name?
Well, Henry Ruth. I'm not gonna go with Henry. You know what I mean? Like
Babe's name is George Herman Ruth.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Like I call him Babe Ruth.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Get you. I feel your point.
Like
I get your point.
You know,
that's valid.
So that's why
I see where you went.
Yeah,
I went a little different.
Number 2 for me is the Hick from French Lick. That is Larry Legend. That is Larry Bird. Larry Bird's got 2 nicknames, but the Hick from French Lick, fantastic.
Number 1 for me is simple. It's easy, and I love it because you can only really think of one player and say it. It's Junior. Ken Griffey Jr. There's no other baseball player allowed to say Junior.
His nickname was the Kid.
It's either one. I go with Junior above all else because quite literally, you cannot call a baseball player Junior without someone going, "Well, that's Ken's name."
Well, if you say Junior, maybe just generically, a lot of people think of Dale Jr.
Valid point.
That's why. But I'm just saying. Number one for me, just because it fits him so well, and I just love the nickname. One, because it's just perfect for him. It's Megatron. That's Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, that's a good one.
When you said like he's so much bigger than everybody else. I love Megatron. I love that nickname. Coming up next, we're going to talk all things K-State with Kellis Robinett. 2 o'clock hour, we will wrap things up with Royals baseball at 2:30. We will get some other headlines going on, including could Kansas City be getting a hockey team? What are the odds of that? That'll be coming up to wrap up this edition of Mic'd Up. But right now on the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits phone line, we bring in Kellis Robinett of the Wichita Eagle and the Kansas City Star. You can follow Kellis on Twitter at Kellis Robinett. Kellis, how you doing?
Good, man. How about you?
Doing well. Got a question for you. We just did our list of everyone. We picked something that we want to rank, and we went with nicknames, like player nicknames. Like Deion Sanders was Prime Time. I thought you might have gone with Prime Time, Fulton. Go Prime Time. Has there been any like really good K-State players who've had nicknames that people just that's what they were known for? I'm trying to think just off the top of my head. Did any of them have any great nicknames? Like the one that came to my head just now would be Jacob Pullen the Beard. Like that's the one that I can think of. Are there any others that you can recall?
The Beard was good. Felix Anudike Uzama. People decided his name was too long, so they just called him King Felix.
Okay.
That wasn't too bad.
Yep.
Austin Moore, the linebackers on their current team, they like to call it the Machine. Let's see. Colin Klein was Optimus Klein for a while.
That's right. Optimus Klein. I like that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one wasn't too bad. Arthur Brown was the Judge.
The Judge.
And,
that's right.
Ish Masood last year when he made so many threes, he morphed into Swish Masood. I thought that one was pretty clever as well.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of,
nothing else too amazing that I can think of.
I'm trying to think of like they weren't. It wasn't an individual name, but the Purple Pop Gun Duo. That's fantastic for a pair of basketball players. The Purple Pop Gun Duo. That's terrific. But that's not an individual nickname. That was obviously a duo. So shout out to the older generation there. If you were a big K-State basketball fan with the Purple Pop Gun Duo. But no, those are some good recent ones. I'm on board with that. I'm surprised Deuce didn't get a nickname.
Well, I mean, his real name is Chris Vaughn, so Deuce kind of is the nickname. But you're right.
Deuce goes by that's like Magic Johnson. Yeah, his first name's Irvin. It's like Tiger Woods. Like his first name's not Tiger. It's Eldrick. Nobody calls him that. They call him by his. I don't know. That's a nickname, but it's not like
nicknames that become the what takes place of the name still are nicknames, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Like Deuce is his nickname. Everyone just calls him Deuce.
Like the reason why nobody calls Irvin Johnson is because Irvin's a stupid name. Like, why do you think Tiger Woods changed it? Like, went by Tiger? You think, hey, I'm Eldrick. Like, come on. And no, I'm not going to apologize to people out there named Eldrick. Okay. So that's why.
I'll also say the Octagon of Doom overall. I mean, that's a nickname for the basketball arena. That's not too bad.
So yeah, I was kind of interested. No, there's some good ones there. I like that. I like that. Good stuff, Kels. See, I knew I could just throw that question out to you with you had no chance of knowing that because we just kind of spur of the moment thing. But you come through like you always do. Speaking of coming through to Manhattan is going to be a little bit difficult with the airport situation. You had a nice piece on that. So how is K-State going to handle recruiting here with the airport runway getting a facelift?
Yeah, so the airport here has been closed since May 5th, and it'll be down until at least September 5th. That's if construction is on time. The new runway they're building gets installed as they expect. I actually drove by the airport today. You can see all the ground they chewed up from the highway. So they're doing some pretty extensive work out there. And clearly, it's less than ideal. Most airports, when they do construction, they still find a way to stay open. Apparently, that just wasn't the case here in Manhattan. They had to shut down everything and just totally redo the runway. And that's left Kansas State with an interesting predicament because most of the time, when they fly recruits in and out of campus, or their coaches want to leave town to go take a look at prospective recruits, they're flying in and out of Manhattan, which Chicago and Dallas. It's super convenient. You can be from the heart of campus to the gate here in like 8 minutes. I've known K-State employees to leave like 25 minutes before their flight to still make it. So, I mean, it is very, very convenient. They like to say it's the closest airport in the Big 12 to their college's town or city. And now they lose that for the summer. And right now they're pretty much running shuttles nonstop between Manhattan and MCI in Kansas City. So some poor GAs on really big recruiting weekends, say for football in June, if they have, like 8 visitors on campus, they're coming in at all different times. They'll have people driving to and from Kansas City twice a day. They're spending a lot of time on the road, shuttling these recruits in and out. Adds time onto the trip, makes Manhattan seem a little bit more isolated than it already is. So just annoyance that they're going to have to deal with for a few months.
Yeah, that's I'm surprised because Salina goes to a few different places. I'm surprised they wouldn't fly into Salina and then drive because it's a lot shorter of a drive from Salina to Manhattan than it is from Kansas City. But that is a bummer. And speaking of recruiting, KU forward Ernest Uday, is he really going to visit K-State?
From what I understand, if he does not commit to Duke, he's there right now or was there yesterday. Don't know all the parameters, but he's checking out Duke right now. I think that's his preferred destination. If it works out and they've got room for him, I think he goes there. But if he leaves Duke and says, you know what, I want to check out some other options, I think he definitely looks at Kansas State by the end of the month. And that would be a very interesting marriage if it comes about, because I don't know about you guys, but I've never seen a basketball player transfer from Kansas and play at Kansas State before. And he's a really good player who would fit what Kansas State needs. So they need a big guy to throw in there and be a back to the basket center, and he would certainly do that.
So to me, it's interesting. All right, he left KU, and I know you know nothing about that. You don't cover the KU beat, and I understand that. But there wasn't a whole lot of minutes to be played with a couple other people coming in. So, my thought process, I'll go to Duke. Yeah, they got no big men there. I'll be able to play right away. Because would you agree with this, though? If he comes to Kansas State, he starts right now.
Most likely, yes. I would think if he came in, he would probably start right away. They'd put maybe Jarrell Colbert or David Gasson at the 4, Naquan Tomlin at the 3, Cam Carter at the 2, Tyler Perry at the 1, and they got a pretty versatile lineup there. But yes, absolutely. If Ernest Uday, a former McDonald's All-American, 5-star recruit, came to Kansas State, I think they would find a way to get in as many minutes as they could.
I want him to come to Kansas State more so, not because of the basketball, because it went from KU to K-State. And I think we thought McCullough going from Tech to KU, or who was the Tulsa kid who went from KU to Oklahoma State?
Bryce Thompson.
I thought that was kind of unique. KU to K-State? Oh my goodness.
All I
Sign
ask
me
is
up for that.
if he makes that decision, everyone needs to tell him to turn his Twitter mentions off.
Well, K-State fans will love it. They'll at least get that part of it.
That's true. That's a good point, Kellis.
I think that would
that's something else. You get revenge games a year for Ernest Uday against KU. I guess even if he goes to Duke, he would have one revenge game every now and then because they play in the Champions Classic. It's an interesting predicament there. It'll be fascinating wherever he ends up. I guess my question is, I know he left Kansas because Hunter Dickinson went there, but is there no way they could have played those guys together? We've seen Bill Self have success with high-low before. Seems like you pair those two guys together, it'd be pretty decent. I guess I'm just a little surprised he was so eager to get out of there.
From the KU side of things here, I was just as stunned that Ernest left, because at worst, he would have been the first big off the bench when Dickinson needed a breather. So I was very surprised when the decision was made to transfer, because I'm with the Kellis. I think they could have figured it out. So I got nothing of what this whole thing's been.
Especially with the Mbako guy, or Bako.
Yeah, with Mackenzie Mbako going to Indiana.
Didn't come to KU. Yeah, it's kind of wild. But we're talking with Kellis Robinett on our Fleming Place Wine and Spirits phone line. All right, Kellis, the official contract for Chris Kleiman is out. I'm sure you have read it, and you put together a nice piece at the Star and the Eagle. What's something that stood out to you with the contract?
A few things outside of the obvious. Probably the biggest head turner was that there's a clause in his contract that drops his buyout from $6 million to $1 million in the event that either University President Richard Linton or Athletic Director Gene Taylor is no longer employed by the Wildcats. So what does that mean? If at any point over the next 8 years, Chris Kleiman's looking for an exit, looking for a reason to, depart or enhance his contract, you name the reason. If one of his current bosses is no longer there, he doesn't want to try working for somebody else, he could explore options much more easily than currently with the $6 million buyout. So you don't see that every day. I was a little surprised to see that. It's not necessarily the biggest deal in the world because I don't know that any major school that came in and really wanted to pry him away, I think could afford a $6 million buyout compared to one. But it's still interesting. A few other things I would say is that they kept a very, very Chris Kleiman friendly clause in there that states anytime over the next 3 seasons when he wins 8 games and leads Kansas State to a bowl, he gets 1 year automatically added to his contract.
Whoa!
At a max out of $6.5 million. So that means we've talked about his deal being 8 years for $44 million. Really, there's a possibility for it to be 11 years for close to $62 million. So, and it won't take a lot more to get there. Like I said, just 8 wins a year. He's every year other than COVID, he's won at least 8 games here at Kansas State. So if he does that here the next 3 seasons, things are setting up very nicely for him in the future. And then I was also a little interested to see that he split up his payments, partly straight to him and partly straight to an LLC. We've seen some other coaches do that, and he's joined the group.
So I want to get more specific on this 8 wins and they go to a bowl game. So if he wins 8 games or more, they add a year to the contract, and how much money per year goes up?
So in the event that the very specific language is he has to go 8-4 or better in the regular season and then play in a bowl game. So it can't be 7-5 and then you finish 8-5. It has to be 8-4 or better. But if you do that and get to a bowl, then then you get 1 extra year at a salary of $6.5 million, which I'm sure you could buy a few nice things for that.
So let's say this upcoming year in 2023, they go 8-4. So does that mean the next year in 2024, his contract would be $6.5 million?
It would mean that in the year 2031, his salary is $6.5 million.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so it just adds on to that. So, boy, he could
correct.
Yeah, he could be here for a while then if he piles up some 8-win seasons. How about that? That's a pretty good deal there. Also, doesn't surprise me about the clause with Gene Taylor because Gene and Kleiman are good buddies. It does surprise me about the Richard Linton part. Like, how close of friends is it really with the head coach and the president?
Yeah, that part surprised me as well. I totally get the Gene Taylor thing.
Yeah.
He said on many occasions, Gene Taylor's my guy. He hired him at North Dakota State. He hired him at Kansas State. He loves working for him. I totally get why he would say, you know what, if there's a change in athletic director leadership, I think I should have the opportunity to, at least maybe explore my options. Totally get that. I'm not sure what his connection is with Mr. Linton. He certainly was not here when he was hired, but he has been here for a little over a year now. Maybe they just hit it off and he really likes working for him as well. I don't know, but I'm with you. That was a bit surprising.
Interesting. Alrighty, lastly, does it look like the K-State baseball team will make the NCAA tournament?
Yes, I think they will do it. They've got a series coming up this weekend against TCU, and then the Big 12 tournament after that. If they go 0-4, they go 0-3 here, and then 2 in barbecue in Arlington. Finish the season on I guess it'd be 7-game losing streak. That would really be tempting fate. But anything other than that, if they can win a game here against TCU, win a game in Arlington, if they win the series here, I think they're in, and odds are they do that. So I very much like their chances to be a 3 or 4 seed in an NCAA regional here in June.
All righty. Last two for the road. Very simple, very easy. If there was an NHL team in Kansas City, would you go to a game?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would. I tell people all the time when they ask me if I like NHL or hockey or NHL or NBA better. I like watching NBA better on TV, but I remember many years ago when Kansas State was at the Cotton Bowl, they gave us tickets on back-to-back nights. One night to the Dallas Stars, one night to the Dallas Mavericks, and being there, the hockey experience was much, much more fun. I would be much more willing to go to an NHL game, and if they came to Kansas City, I would definitely check that out on occasion.
Alrighty, and lastly, saw this on the New Heights, the Travis and Jason Kelce podcast. What's the best trophy in sports?
The best trophy in sports.
Yeah, like the coolest looking trophy, or the trophy that you go, man, that trophy's pretty sweet. Like, you're not gonna say the World Series trophy, the commissioners, because that thing is stupid. That is a dumb trophy. All right. You're not gonna say the college football playoff trophy, because that thing is stupid. All right. If you wanted to say the BCS title with the crystal ball that you could hold, that's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie to you. But like the college football playoff trophy, that's boring. It's dull. It's stupid. What? Give me what you're going with.
And this is like not a rivalry trophy. Like
no, it can be a rivalry trophy. It can be any trophy. It could be could be the old wooden bucket, or the pig, or the axe. The axe is cool. That's a cool trophy. The Cyhawk, that one's lame, but if you think that's cool, that's fine.
I mean, I would definitely say something that you can interact with. I don't remember who Alabama UAB plays for this. Maybe it's Memphis. I think it's UAB Memphis. They play each other for a bronze rack of ribs, which I've always thought was amazing. Like, you carry off the field, you literally just carrying like a cooked rack of ribs you would find at a barbecue restaurant. I always thought that was funny.
It's called. I'm gonna give you the answer. I was able to look it up real quick. It's called the Battle of the Bones between UAB and Memphis. Yeah, the Battle of the Bones. There's a photo of it. This thing is awesome.
I mean, yes, the Battle of the Bones. I feel like winning that just for that trophy sounds amazing. Paul Bunyan's axe would be pretty great. And then I would also say, personally, if I were to win something, I would very much like to be able to. I like the idea of like drinking a beer out of the trophy I just won. So the claret jug.
Oh, good one. Good one.
I mean, if I won that thing, I would drink every beverage for the rest of the year out of that thing. Every time I sat down for a meal, I'd be like, "Where's my jug? Bring that claret jug over."
And it's a great flex too. Where's my drink? And someone's like, "Oh, here it is," and they hand you the claret jug. That's kind of a flex. It's a pretty good flex.
It's a huge flex.
It's not a bad.
I mean,
yeah.
I'd maybe rather have the rack of ribs sitting around, but there's no flex there. The claret jug would be a.
Have you ever gone to a party where it's called anything but a cup party, where you have to bring something that's not a cup as your drink to hold your drink? You know what I'm talking about? I'm just going to bring the claret jug. No big deal. That's pretty sweet.
I actually have not been to a party like that.
What?
That sounds fun. I need to have that thing. I mean, believe it or not, when I was in college, the cup was basically just a red Solo cup.
Yeah.
I wish I thought of that. I wish we'd have thought of one of those.
Yeah, I did not do that in college. I was like that with you, but when we get older, you get a little bit more creative. My wife, we had this is a while ago, but my wife was like, "Yeah, let's have a party, and we're gonna call it anything but a cup." So when you come over, you have to have some type of vessel that you can drink out of, and that's what we did for that evening. So there you go, a little fun tip idea there for you in Manhattan.
All right, well, I'll put that on my to-do list. Throw a anything but a cup party.
There, Kellis, thank you so much, man.
All right, have a good one, guys.
Kellis Robinett, the Battle of the Bones. Kellis always comes through, man.
That would be a great trophy.
Kellis is terrific, man. Does a great job. Always enjoy talking with Kellis. Came through with the nickname. He doesn't know what we're gonna ask him. He's that poor guy. Like, we just ask him the most random stuff. It's not mean. I know he can handle it because he's a performer.
Yeah,
he gets it done. Bones, terrific. Coming up in the 2:00 hour, we are going to talk hockey.
Let's do it.
Kansas City getting a franchise. We will get to that. Plus, we'll wrap things up because we've got Royals baseball. I'll give you the lineup. All of that coming up in the 2:00 hour. We just got 30 minutes to go. No 580 sports talk because it'll be Royals baseball, but we got 20 more minutes coming at you next year on the Sports Voice of Kansas. Final 30 minutes here on Mic'd Up with Jake and Fulton, leading you into Royals baseball. That's right, the Royals. Heavy underdog today. When they are taking on the Padres. Won last night, 5-4, held on. Aroldis Chapman throwing some serious Gruyere down the pipe. I mean, that thing was 103.
What a 3.8.
Woo.
Tied for the fastest pitch thrown this season.
That is some Havarti. That is some strong stuff.
Do you got any other cheese references you can make?
Oh, I can go on and on about cheese. I love cheese.
Okay.
Big cheese guy.
Okay. She's got a good Gruyere and a Havarti so far.
Yeah. Nothing's better, though, than the extra sharp cheddar.
Okay.
Fantastic stuff.
I love provolone myself.
That's good. Kind of bland.
It depends on what you're putting it on and what you're using it in.
Yeah.
Provolone's a solid cheese choice.
Oh, it's a solid one. It just doesn't have a lot of, it's not like Swiss where it's got a very distinct taste.
Yeah, see, and that's my thing is I don't need my cheese to give me a super, that's why I'm not a big fan of Swiss on stuff.
Okay.
Swiss overpowers other flavors. Provolone complements flavors.
Okay. I'm all right with that. Cheese is one of the, that can be a game changer on a lot of things.
Yeah, cheese makes everything better. Food-wise.
Trying to think of what cheese doesn't improve.
Within reason. I mean, we can go a little crazy and, like cheese on ice cream. Yeah, that's disgusting.
No, see, right? Are you ready for this? Hot take, right? This is one,
Yeah.
Cheese on eggs, not good.
I disagree with you.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's a hot take.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's hot. Just a little, maybe a little, have a little heat to it. Not a lot.
No, I think most people put cheese on your eggs. I don't like
a little cheese and some scrambled eggs. Delicious.
Yeah, see, that's a hard pass for me.
Granted, I can't remember last time I had scrambled eggs. I moved into kind of being an over easy, over hard guy on my eggs. Depends on what I'm feeling with the yolk that day.
But no, that's what I'm saying. Like cheese on scrambled eggs is kind of a not normal,
Went to Waffle House last weekend. Cheese on hash browns. Let me tell you. Great choice.
I can't do that one either.
Brother.
Yeah. And I love cheese, man. I love cheese. I can't do it. I can't do cheese. I can't do cheese, or for some odd reason, I can't do ketchup on hash browns.
Well, that's because ketchup is a terrible condiment.
Well, false.
True.
I just can't do. But I do sometimes like ketchup on my French fries.
Okay.
But not on my.
You can run
hash
a good
browns.
French fry that way.
So we got a few more minutes to go. The Royals lineup for tonight, this afternoon. It's every time I see Jackie Bradley Jr. or Hunter Dozier, I get mad, but then I realize they have no other option.
Yeah, so you can't get mad. Like they just don't have bodies.
I mean, you could.
Well, okay, correction. You can get mad about Dozier because you can put Matt Duffy in his place nearly every time.
Yeah.
You cannot get mad about JBJ.
I mean, you can, because I can put Olivares in left field and Eaton in center and not have JBJ.
All right,
out
so
there.
then you're playing the Eaton versus JBJ game.
Have you come around on Nate Eaton not just terrible?
Listen, I put out a tweet last night. I love Nate. I love him to death, and I to my heart of hearts, I believe this man can be a major league fourth outfielder. It's not working right now. And that weird dive attempt he made last night, I have never screamed louder. Like, I probably made some of my neighbors not happy with me last night, because when I saw that, I was upset.
That was a terrible attempt.
It was, he knows better.
Come on, dude.
So, yeah, I'm like, but that's where you're at. And I mean, if your thought is development, then yeah, you actually would want JBJ not for it to be Eaton over JBJ. But, I mean, that is what it is right now. Drew Waters will be back next week.
Yeah. Olivares not playing today.
You get Drew back Monday.
Yeah, not for sure why. But either way, Witt leads off. Pasquantino batting second. He's your DH. Sal is catching. Melendez in right. Michael is at third. Prado at first. Massey at second. Eaton in left. And Bradley Jr. in center. For those of you wondering on Yu Darvish, Yu Darvish this year has a 3.16 ERA. His whip is just over 1.
He's really good.
And he struck out 47 batters in 42 innings.
Mm-hmm.
Has only given up 4 home runs in those 42 innings. The Royals, not a lot of success. Some guys, like Prado and Massey are 1 for 3 against him. Melendez 0 for 3. Witt 1 for 3. Salvador Perez 2 for 9. No home runs. Not a whole lot of success. A lot of strikeouts. when it comes to that. In fact, every single person has struck out against Yu Darvish except for Bobby Witt Jr. So I'm leaning towards Yu Darvish is going to strike out 7 or more today.
He'll have a good day.
So
Because Yu Darvish is a very good pitcher and he's figured himself out.
Yeah. So
like he's back on track. He had a little of a rough patch, but Yu's back.
He has struck out 7, 6, and 9 his last 3 starts. So just a little idea there for you.
Yeah.
So Royals, is Machado back or did Keller ruin him?
No Manny Machado tonight. This afternoon. The Padres.
Was that your attempt of singing?
No, that was just me saying while I was thinking. That was me just going
terrible.
Yeah, that was just me filling space. The Padres tonight, this afternoon. Dang it, I keep doing that. Bogarts is going to lead off. Jake Cronenworth, Fernando Tatis will bet third. Juan Soto is betting fourth. Matt Carpenter's DHing again. Then Ha-Seong Kim at third. Ravindra at second. Trent Grisham in center. And Austin Nola is their catcher.
Man, he stinks.
Yeah.
Odor stinks. Although we will forever love Odor because he...
Ravindra was a special place in my heart because he gave Jose Bautista one of the best right hooks I've ever seen from a baseball player.
That was like a year ago yesterday or something like that. Or,
it was like 7 years ago.
Yeah. Awesome.
No, it was awesome. No,
his sunglasses flew off of him.
The Padres' problem right now is the bottom of their lineup is absolute dog doo-doo.
And it doesn't help that, it'd be a lot longer if Brad Keller wouldn't have hit Manny Machado in the hand.
Yeah. But I mean, after even their number 2 hitter, Jake Cronenworth, is not hitting well.
No.
The Padres' problem, and I know I say that as but I mean, look at it. The Padres lineup has not really done that much against the Royals in 2 games. So my point still stands. The problem with the Padres right now is their offense is not good.
Not good.
And it's because they have 3 dudes playing well and they're 3 superstars, Bogarts, Tatis, and Soto, and they're getting no help. Not a one.
Yeah, they're back in their
No
lineup.
one's helping them.
Their back in their lineup is like the Royals back in the lineup. Just not
Except
very good.
Comparing the 2 depths of the lineup, the Royals have more length than the Padres do.
The last 3, 219, 044, 162.
We're not going to quote batting averages in the second week of May when Michael Massey's been hitting it incredibly well since April 23rd.
I'm not talking about. I'm just going with what. I mean, you got Nate Eaton out there, man. He is.
No, I agree.
For
No, the 8-9 for the Royals, real bad. For the Padres, everything after 4. 8-9, not good for the Royals. 5 through 9, not good for the Padres.
They're both.
That's my point.
Both not good. Going to a little hockey real quick.
Sure.
Phoenix doesn't want the Coyotes. They don't. The Arizona Coyotes are basically they don't have a home. All right.
Essentially,
the city, the area, the county voted no. We're not going to help you at all, Arizona.
They
Coyotes.
wanted to get a better stadium, a new stadium.
Yeah,
because they need one.
The NHL is terribly disappointed by the results of the public referenda regarding the Coyotes arena project in Tempe. We are going to review with the Coyotes what the options might be going forward. So they're going to go somewhere.
Probably.
And
Coyotes are going to move.
It looks as though the Yotes will end up either in Houston, Atlanta, Quebec, or maybe Kansas City.
Yeah, Kansas City's on the short list.
Now, are they officially on the short list?
Every NHL inside source says yes.
Those are the 4.
Every NHL source is saying that those are the 4. And Kansas City is legitimately one of the 4. The bigger point is Houston has the inside track. Everyone's early prognostication is it'll probably be Houston unless some other things change.
Why Houston?
I can't remember. There's somebody involved with the Houston group, that would be leading it or heading it, and some leadership things of someone with a lot of pull in Houston, or maybe pull with Arizona. There's a connection between Arizona and Houston with the people making the decisions that they want to go to Houston. Like, I will not pretend I know all about this. There are a lot smarter people on this than me, but the things I've seen pointed out, it looks like Houston is the inside track. So Kansas City has a little bit of an uphill climb in that. But they are in the fight. They will, their voice shall be heard to try and get one.
I don't think Quebec will get it. I think that's a real
I
uphill battle.
don't know about that. I don't know about what Quebec would do. Because they would you basically put two teams in Quebec at that point because you already have Montreal. And so I don't know, would you put both the teams in Montreal? Would you go somewhere else in Quebec? Like, would you do Quebec City?
Yeah, you do Quebec City.
But even then, like, that goes into like infrastructure of the situation, and like, because all this will come down to is arena location as well. Like, the Coyotes are moving because they need a home.
Correct.
Well, then wherever they're going to either needs to be willing to build them a home or have a home. I've seen a little bit of discourse from random parts of the internet about T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. People being like, well, I mean, Kansas City would have to get, a professional sports ready arena ready to go. And I'm like, you been to the T-Mobile Center? Like, it might need a couple upgrades, if anything. But like, Kansas City's advantage and why they're up there with Houston is they ain't got to build anything. At most, a couple upgrades to T-Mobile Center, good to go. You can host NHL hockey in
from
there.
an NHL person regarding that. The T-Mobile Center in Kansas City would be the 7th newest NHL building.
Yeah, and that's the other like counter argument to anybody being like oh, Kansas City would need a new arena or make the arena a lot better. It's like, what are the newer arenas in all of hockey? Like, the arena, like, that's Kansas City's advantage. Is just you tell the Coyotes move on in. You don't have to wait to build. We don't have to wait to build anything. Like, because any renovations you make would be small.
Do they call themselves the Coyotes?
So we've had this discussion before.
No, I don't want to know.
No, they do. They call themselves the Coyotes because of the dialect. Because they're in the Southwest.
I don't care about the dialect.
That's why. But they are the Coyotes.
I don't care about that. When the owner of the team, when he says, our team, the Phoenix
Coyotes.
Okay, that's all I care about. So the Coyotes.
I'm telling you why they do it.
I don't care about the why. I just want
is also important.
The why. I don't care how the sausage is made.
Okay.
All right. So the Coyotes.
Yes.
Because around here, if you see one, you're not going to be like, oh, that's a coyote.
No, you say coyote.
It's a coyote. So the Coyotes owner.
Yes.
Wants to go to Houston. Sounds like.
I believe that's the case. I believe that's why Houston is the inside track.
I would be fully on board with the Kansas City Coyotes as.
And you could actually argue that they would then become the Kansas City Coyotes.
I would be fully on board with that.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I think this is the best chance for an NBA or an NHL team to ever come to Kansas City.
Yeah.
This is
the best chance they're going to have in a long time.
You got one shot. Do not miss your chance.
Got one shot, one opportunity.
You cannot
to seize everything you've ever wanted.
You cannot miss this opportunity if you are
Kansas
Kansas
City.
City. And
you can't let it slip.
And you got to own it.
It's some great hodgepodging together of that.
You really need to.
Yeah.
I hope this happens.
I'd be a fan. I'd be a fan, and I would go a lot. I would go as much as I could.
Especially because
I don't know
it would be your team then.
I don't know. Well, I don't see that would put myself in a little bit of a blender. Is do I switch to being a Kansas City Coyotes fan
as opposed to
Vegas? Ever since I got into the NHL, started getting into the NHL when Vegas became an expansion team. Vegas Golden Knight fan, which has been very fun for me.
Do whatever you want to do. You could still
technically, if they're in Tuesday, if Kansas City would get to be in the Eastern Conference, I would just have an Eastern and Western team. Fine.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
You can't have two teams in hockey you cheer for, like you die support. No, you cannot. And you can't.
No, I know I can't. That'd be the hard part.
No, but you want them to be in the Western because then your Knights will come to Kansas City and you can watch
that. That'd be the part if I don't switch a fan allegiance. Because then I just put Vegas come to Kansas City, then I can have a good time.
And Kellis mentioned this. Live hockey.
It's so much fun.
Now live hockey is different. When you go watch, the the tarantulas or the scarecrows, or when they were here in Topeka, that's different because it's junior hockey. You know, it's high school kids trying to go to the, to go to college.
Yeah.
This is the pros.
Yeah.
You got Steven Stamkos is going to come in, and, Alexander Ovechkin, because he's going to play forever, will come.
Yeah.
But live NHL hockey
Nothing better, man.
Is incredible. It's incredible.
Live hockey is a lot of fun.
So much fun. I don't, when someone says, would you rather have an NBA or an NHL team? I'd say, I don't care. I think either one would be a absolute blast. But I think hockey fans, I think it would be cheaper for hockey to be a fan.
Yeah, probably.
Sweaters cost a little bit.
Yeah, they do.
But I think if they did get the Coyotes, or they rename it, whatever, I think you'd have a great turnout, a great fan. I would go to more NHL games than I would Royals games. And the reason why is because it's the nonstop flowing fun on that small of a surface. Like soccer, a lot of people, it's the same thing. It's free flowing.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of stoppages in soccer. Same thing with hockey. But the difference is the pace of hockey. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah.
But man, that would be a ton of fun.
It would be a lot of fun.
Because they would play where the Rockets, I'm assuming, are playing. Like in Houston, right?
I believe that'd be the plan. I have to imagine they play. I think that's still the Toyota Center. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I mean, you'd probably go to Houston just because the population base is so much bigger.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why Houston does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, but man, it's the armpit of Texas.
Yeah, it is.
Coming up, we will finish things off with the mic drop. On this Victory Wednesday. Fulton, what do you got?
Rose, why don't you do that thing where you win a baseball game today? That'd be really cool. But more importantly, just survive throwing as many bullpen arms. I mean, Hernandez is going to get like 2 innings, then Mike Myers is going to pitch. And I just hope it goes well. I hope it goes well.
Jackson Core make an appearance today?
Maybe. I think so.
Why wouldn't you bring him up then?
I mean, the idea is the idea is, well, I think again the original plan was he was going to be the Bolt guy, and then Mike Myers came into the picture. I think they would probably use Coar today, especially if things got out of hand, but they might not. The plans have kind of changed. Coar was also brought up because they needed to freshen the pen in general. Like, Max Castillo got sent down not because he did anything wrong, but because he had thrown a billion pitches in his last 2 outings and wasn't going to pitch for like 4 days. And the Royals are going to, like, this is an intelligent way to use a bullpen. Keep every arm as fresh as you can, which means revolving the door a lot. So, I don't think Core has to pitch today. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if he gets an inning. But I think it's going to be all dependent on what Hernandez and Myers do for the first, 5 to 6.
Doesn't matter because Darvish is going to toss up a bunch of zeros.
I mean, if you keep it close, you give yourself a legit chance if you can get Darvish out of the game.
That's true. That is true. I will end it with this. I really do hope that the NHL would come to Kansas City. Playoff hockey is incredible. Just something different would be an absolute blast. And I think hockey in this area would really thrive. I still think, I have to look this up, and I'll try to get you that answer tomorrow. But I still think no one from Kansas has ever made the NHL.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That will do it for Mic'd Up. Well, we do not have 580 Sports Talk. Well, I guess we do, unless this Royals game gets punted for some reason, because we got Royals baseball coming up next. And then we'll talk to you tomorrow at noon. Enjoy Royals baseball here on the Sports Voice of Kansas.